Once you've got the project properly synced in Pluralize, it's time to generate an XML file. The XML file is the extensible markup language, and it's a type of language that allows multiple computer applications to exchange data. In this case, we're going to generate a sequence from Pluralize and bring that into Premiere Pro. Let's go ahead. Now, what we can do is bring this in. I'll just choose File, Import, and navigate to that XML file. In this case, it was in my Documents folder. And I'll select it and choose Open. It brings that in as a basic sequence and should get a nice organized project. For example, if we open this up, you see it really did a nice job. We've got all the different folders for the different media. Let's go ahead and nest those inside of a new folder, for example. I'll just drag this in and call it Media. But it's great that it was able to put everything into a nice organized state. There's all the different angles and everything's all nice and clean. If I take a look at the synced sequence, you'll see that this would have been just like other methods we did before in Premiere Pro, but it would have been difficult since we had breaks and clips and lots of files. This method was really straightforward. And if I take a look here at the synced sequence with replaced audio, you'll see that it actually swapped out the audio with that other angle and put that in with the clean audio track, swapping it out for everything else, which is pretty cool. Now, this little break here lines up with these breaks here, but I actually don't want that. So what I'm going to do is close that gap. Let's just navigate down here. And I'll select just that audio and drag it closed. You'll have to Alt-click to select just the audio track. Now, with that edit point selected, you can actually press the backspace key to close the through edit. And you see that it now has that perfectly clean. Now, there's a couple things we can do. For example, if I don't want to go through the whole process of selecting these clips back in the bin, especially with these breaks here, I'm just going to take this sequence and nest it. I'll choose Clip, Nest. And this will take all of those and drop them down. Let's call it Multicam. Now what I can do is right-click on this, and from the multi-camera menu, choose Enable. Now all these multiple tracks of audio are really the same, so let's just delete away the extra copies. There we go. And now, believe it or not, we've made a multi-camera sequence. If we take a look at this and bring up the multi-camera view, you'll see that all 5 angles are right there. The nesting option was just simply done to turn this into a sequence. Let me undo a couple of steps here and I'll do it again. All we did was select the aligned clips in our timeline and choose to nest those. Give that a name. It doesn't have to be multicam. You can call it whatever you want. And then right-click on that nest and choose Multi-Camera, Enable. Then you can get rid of any extraneous audio. And when you look at this, you'll see that it is just like the other multi-camera clips we've made before. We can now easily play this back and cut between the sources.
So there are rules, and then there's the...
Rule breakers, right?
Exactly. Rules were meant to be broken. One of the...
You see how easy this is
wine and
to
food
cut between the
pairings
different
is
angles.
You want a balance. And you're
There we
looking
go.
for the wine.
So Pluralize made it easy to take those 5 angles plus the external audio source and turn them into a Premiere Pro sequence. Then it was just a couple of clicks and it's a multi-camera production. Now, once you've lined those clips inside of Pluralize and send it back to Premiere Pro, it's really just a couple of extra steps to convert it into a nested sequence, which then becomes a multi-camera sequence with just one click. This makes it easy, and as you see here, you can have tons of different sources from many different cameras, even with breaks in between those cameras. And rather than having to go through angle by angle finding your sync points, Pluralize does a great job of analyzing all the clips and builds out a full project for you with everything in sync.